Good morning. It is 7:08 a.m. on Thursday, January 25th, 2018. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. Luna did a weird thing this morning where she basically seems to be insisting that she wanted me to just stand next to her while she ate her breakfast. Anyway, I feel like I have a couple of things to talk about today. I watched 2 movies yesterday and made bread. Um, First, I'll talk about the movies first. So, the first one that I watched was The Room, which, if you're not aware of it at all, is a movie that has kind of become a cult favorite because of how it's a little bit of a complex thing, because it's one thing to say that it's so bad it's good sort of thing, and it's a little bit like Plan 9 from Outer Space in that it's not well made, but there's such an enthusiasm there. Like, there's just some bizarre choices made in it, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting to have finally seen, just especially since there's been this whole thing grown up around it. The book and the movie The Disaster Artist are based on the making of it, and because that was kind of out in the ether, I decided I finally wanted to see it. It's not trivially easy to see. Um, I had to buy the DVD, not that it was expensive. It was, it was like, I think I paid $10 for it or something like that. But yeah, so I've now seen it, and it's pretty much what you would expect, given the stories around it. It's there's aspects of it that are not just completely incompetent or anything like that. Like, it is a movie. They have successfully made a movie, and yet, in particular, everything that has to do with the writer, director, star is weird. Like, the writing is strange in the sense that, um, like, so the basic story is about this guy whose girlfriend starts cheating on him, essentially. Um, but you'll have a scene where the girl and her mother are having a conversation, and basically the mother is just reading the girl the riot act about, oh, but he's so nice and he's gonna get a promotion, and why would you do this, and don't you love him anymore, you should stay with him anyway. That's sort of, and it's just bizarre that the girl's own mother would, like, every other character other than this girl are all about how, um oh, well, okay, it's hard to explain. It's also like, he has kind of an accent. Um, you know, so I would guess maybe Eastern European accent of some kind. Um, but he also, I don't know, it's difficult to explain. But it's weird enough that I think that's where the interest in this movie comes from. And so I would say, unless you are interested in all of the stuff surrounding the movie, I mean, the movie it's in and of itself is not worth watching out of context. It's more a matter of becoming interested in the whole phenomenon that would be the only real reason to watch it. Anyway, um, the other movie actually that I watched is The Boss Baby, because it was one of the best animated feature nominees. And if you are like me, then you didn't have much interest in this movie because it just seems in the marketing like this weird hybrid of, like, who is this for? Because on the one hand, all the marketing seemed really focused on kid style humor, but with a character that seems custom designed for kids to not actually care about. A baby that acts like a grown up. So, like, that just that bookends the stuff the kids are interested in, and yet all of the humor made it look like it's all just silly, silly, very lightweight kid humor. But what I will say actually is that the movie is probably it's a fair bit better than I was expecting, and so I would guess that probably the same is true for you. And what I would have done if in the marketing differently is that the real heart of the story is not the baby. The real heart of the story is the older brother, and the kind of emotional core of the movie is this idea that this new strange baby has moved into his house and his parents are giving all of their attention and love to it and he feels replaced. And like that's the beating heart of the movie. And so the idea that this baby is a baby that acts like a grown up, like that makes sense when the center of the movie is a kid and he's dealing with this baby as opposed to the idea that we're following the baby. So in any event, the movie's actually not really bad. I mean, it's not great. It's not my favorite by any means. I mean, the only other one that I've seen so far is Coco, but I like Coco way more by a way wide margin. But I'm just saying, Boss Baby better than I expected. All right. Oh wow, I'm already over 5 minutes. Bread. I made bread. This is actually the second time making French bread from the same recipe. But I would say that I was more successful this time. I think for a couple of reasons. I think I did better at not adding too much flour during the kneading process this time, and I also used less water. Like the water is intended to use to give it kind of a crisp crust during the baking, and I did too much, I think, the first time and less this time. And on the whole, it's much improved. I'll just grab a piece. I'll show you. So this is the piece that I broke in half and ate half of last night to test. And yeah, so looks like French bread, right? It's really good. So I'm very pleased with myself. There is something interesting about making things from scratch. I mean, even the cooking that I've been doing with, like Blue Apron or just, generally cooking, there's a little bit less magic involved when you're just, like assembling ingredients. And I don't know, like, I think what it is just a lot of times that process, while it's satisfying and tasty, doesn't feel as transformative as making bread does, because when you're going from, yeah, it's a bunch of fine white powder, water and salt, but now it's this. That's cool. Anyway, I will talk to you tomorrow for 5 more minutes. How about that?